Hume Football League, and Phil Bouffler is with us, the president, after the federal election. That Saturday last week where footy was played and people went and voted. How are you there, Phil?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks, mate. I had a bit of rain overnight, another 11 mils in the southern Riverina here, so things are looking pretty good.
Pretty good. The ovals are looking pretty good. People have had their vote, and now they're back to just playing footy on the weekend. I tell you what, it's a wonderful thing that we are back after a couple of years of bedlam. And Phil, last weekend, Holbrook showed why they will be a top side this year. They're in that group of sides that I think are pretty assured of finals footy. At Walla, they beat Henty 15-14 to 7-6.
Yeah, it was a home game for Henty, played at Walla. Their sheds are still getting built, so Henty would be disappointed. They won, I think, the week before against Colcan. It was a good win. But Holbrook are just starting to show their class a little bit here, so they're starting to hit their straps, and they're a good side, Holbrook.
Very good side, yeah. Shannon Turlick was good for Henty with 3 goals, the shining light there, but Leach and McKinlay doing the job for the Holbrook side. That was a very one-sided contest when the poor old Billabong Crows fronted up at the Oaklands on their home deck. Osborne came to visit, and, they took all the spoils, a little bit like Albanese on Saturday night.
That's exactly right. So, the only teals out that way would be a few ducks, I reckon. But at the end of the day, the Crows, they had a really good win a few weeks ago. It's very up and down this year, the competition. So a side who plays well one week often has a bit of an off week. So, but once again, Osborne a very good side, flexing their muscles. They just do what they do to win, and they're very good. So that was never in doubt, that game, really.
No, and gee, their goal kicking, it's so shared around. Ryan Collins 4, Watson 4, Armstrong, Galvin, that's Connor Galvin, and Edward O'Connell 3, 2 to McDonald, and a string of singles. Just a very shared performance. It was a single goal scorer for the Billabong Crows. Matt Anderson got his name up in lights, and Zach Kerr tried hard. Nicholas Morris okay. Clancy Galvin, Declan O'Rourke, and Connor Galvin, they were magnificent. The Galvin brothers, it sounds like a Western movie out there somewhere in Osborne territory. What about this? So it was a big win by Culcan, 9-8 over Jindera, 9-5 in an absolute thriller at the Lion Park. And, well, this just announces something, doesn't it? Culcan are going to be, I reckon, up there when it comes to finals time.
They're going to be there and about. They were a bit unlucky. They started poorly against Henty the week before and came home really well in the last quarter. So Jindera, they've been playing very good football, so this is a huge win for Culcan. This is going to give them a lot of confidence moving forward. So it would have been a great game, and it was a very good win.
No confidence not moving forward right now are the CDHBU Power. They were nailed by the Giants around Walbundry Walla, 11-10, 76 to the Power, 4-8, 32. And look, the Power lights have gone out there at Careen right now.
Mate, if they were a horse, they'd spend a lot of time in the stewards' enclosure, these people, because they're up and down like a yo-yo. I was at that game, so they got off to a fly at CDHBU. They were I think they were 4 goals, 1 a quarter time. And they've kicked 7 points for the next 3 quarters. Yeah. Randall Bundry started off slowly. I think that they're the 1 or no goals at quarter time. Then they just came over the top of them. It wasn't a great game to watch, to be truthful, but it was a very good win by the Giants.
It was, and Nathan Wardius kicks 3. He always gets amongst it, even in a loss, but this time a win, and he had help from Nick Colhagen. He got 3, and Samuel Herzig, he got 3 also, and that was the difference. They had goal-scoring power up there in the end. Corey Smith, a couple on the other side of the ledger, and it was just a very, very good win in the end for the boys from Ran Walbundry Walla. Over to the next game, and this one was a very good performance by how long? 1918 regulation over Murray Magpies, 4-8.
One of the sides that's playing the most consistent football this year is Howlong. They've snuck under the guard a little bit. They came in, thought they were going to be improvers, but they've had some good wins. I mean, the Magpies came down to earth a little bit, and after the great win against Lockhart, but that was a very good win. They're a good side, Howlong, so much you're going down to see them play this weekend.
Yeah, I think you'll be enjoying it. Their footy's pretty good at the moment. You'll enjoy Brock Burham if you watch them too. 28 goals, 20. Way too good for Lockhart. 4 goals, 5. A one-sided affair at Brocklesby.
It was a one-sided affair. I think Lockhart's pretty much just in a rebuilding phase. So, they're looking forward to next year. I think they've got a few players signed up already. They're going to keep the bulk of their list. So this is just developing the young kids. They've got the perfect coach in Nathan McPherson to do that. And, this is just going to be not a written-off year, but this is just a year to regroup, There's a very good spirit in at the club apparently, and so it's not all doom and gloom at Lockhart. I think they're on the improve, and they're trying every week, and that's all you can ask, Wayne. When you haven't got the people there, you just got to try every week, and you can't say they're not doing that.
Yeah, you got to score on the board is the key. They had Argus, Coates, Grigg and Purcell all with single goals. Luke Argus tried hard along with Keenan Flood, and Ronald Bolton, very good for Brocklesby, Burrumbuttock, with John Spencer booting 9 big ones in a big high-scoring match over that time. Well, in a few weeks' time, you've got a few players that from past eras that will go into the Hume Football League Hall of Fame. Exciting to be able to recognise some of the best and some of the stalwarts of the competition.
It's been a great thing that the Hall of Fame or the Hume League's put in place. So it's recognition by your peers, and you get nominated. We've got a Hall of League committee that sits, and there's certain formulas that you have to go through. So maybe I'm not exactly sure 100% what it is, but there's points allocated for certain things, like if you win the best and fairest or if you X amount of games, so you get points. And I think if you've got to get to 200 points is the magic mark. So it's a great night. It really is a good night, and I've had a few posthumous people put in posthumously and stuff like that. So it's just really nice for their families. Some netballers are going in as well. So it's a really, really good night. So it's at the Commercial Club, but we'll talk about that a little bit closer to the day one.
Oh, sounds good. All right, let's have a look at round 8 competition. And it's a bit of moisture about. It could have some wet underfoot to play out at Osborne. That won't worry the people out there. They will come up against their arch rivals, Henty. And in those Pleasant Hills, they'll come down and they will play hard, those Henty boys, but Osborne will be too good.
Mate, once again, Osborne are just cruising along. When they need to find a gear, they find it. And once again, Henty will put up a good fight, but I just think Osborne will be too strong on the day.
Yeah, they've just got such depth and quality of players. When you sort of talk about blokes like Joel Mackey, who is such a good player, the Galvin boys each week do it week in, week out, but it's the Edward O'Connells, it's the Declan O'Rourke's, it is the Hugh Schmertz's. These are the boys that just, from that area, they just come and play football year in, year out, and they're just too good.
A lot of the boys, like a lot of those younger kids coming through, their dads played out there and stuff like that, so that's part of the Osborne, what they do, they get the kids back, and it's just part of the family out there, so more credit to them really.
And, of course, the Henty boys, they've got the Turlicks and so forth, and over the years there's always been a bit of niggle about who plays for Osborne and who plays for Henty and where their junior career began. So this will be a great match and a lot of friendship, a lot of rivalry too between the red and white and the black and gold. But I think we'll see the canola farmers at Osborne upset the Swampies. Lockhart take on the Billabong Crows. This is a beauty at Lockhart. And with the Billabong Crows struggling a little bit at the moment, Lockhart might fancy themselves to get a win here and to get their season on track. The Crows have won 3 times this year, but they're sadly not the side, I don't think, that started the season. And maybe injuries and the COVID crisis have caused their player personnel to be in doubt some weeks. But Lockhart a chance here.
Lockhart are a chance at home. It's a funny thing, they've always, even when Lockhart have been down or up or wherever they are on the ladder, it's always a very close game. It'll be a big crowd in there. They've got a very good supporter base, the Crows, and Lockhart's got a pretty good one this year. So it'll be close. The Crows they're up and down a little bit, so I think, there you go, I'll go out to limb here, mate. I reckon Lockhart could get a win up here.
All right, it could be the Colourful Classic this weekend for the two sides as to which way you go. Do you play down at Lockhart or do you go back and play for Urana? Ramwabundry Walla take on Kalkan, and this is at Walla. This is going to be an absolute beauty. I reckon this is the match of the round.
Could be close. 2 last round winners, both playing pretty well. It'll be a very good game, that. The ground at Walla's looking pretty good too. It's in good nick. So, it's a little bit hard, this one. I'll probably, look, after seeing Kalkan come home and play, and they win last week, I'm going to pick Kalkan.
Oh, the Lions in an upset. Jindera and the Murray Magpies at Jindera. Deary me, this is a very short road trip for the Murray Magpies. It's probably one of the closest road trips up to Jindera, but I don't think it'll be helpful because the Bulldogs will be too good.
Almost a home game for the Magpies, but they'll be too strong, Jindera. They'll be annoyed that they lost last week, and they'll come out firing on all cylinders, and they'll just be too strong. But don't worry about this. The Murray Magpies, they'll be trying from the start to the end.
They will be, and they've been very good. No juniors, of course, this year, but that'll be difficult for starting the twos and then the seniors. A bit of a sleep-in for everybody. What about Holbrook and CDHBU? This should be a one-sided one. I think up at Holbrook, the Hoppers will be too good.
Big road trip to Holbrook, so they've got their club rooms open and they're looking $1 million out there. So that'll probably be the highlight for the CDHBU, or maybe the trip home. I don't think they'll be good enough after seeing them the last couple of weeks. They're disappointing. They're just not gelling. As I said last week, they just got off to a flyer. 4 goals, looked like they had the game under control, and kicked 7 points for the rest of the game. Kicking to position wasn't great, so they really need to improve. But even if they improve 50% or 100%, I think Holbrook would still be too strong.
Yep, I think so. How Long and Brock Burham. This is another absolute beauty. And this one has got the red and black Spiders versus the red, black and white Saints. So this is going to go right down to the wire.
It's a good game. I'm heading down to How Long, and I'll see this game. So, I think it'll be pretty close. How Long at home, there you go. The way they've been playing, I think How Long might get up here.
All right, I'm going to go the other way. I reckon that the Saints will visit. It's not a long road trip either. They're near neighbours again, so this will be a fantastic game. A great weekend of Hume football, and it is a wonderful opportunity to get out and about. A bit of moisture underfoot, but no one's complaining. Cropping nearly done. Most farmers are getting back to some regulation weeks now after the cropping season. So, Phil, it's going to be a great weekend of footy.
A good weekend. Might be a little bit wet, and we really don't want a lot of rain just at this stage. There's stories of farmers trying to trying to put their crop in. It's just too wet to get on the ground, so they're just going around with their little spreaders and spreading wheat and barley just on the top of the ground and hope something comes up. So, it's pretty wet. So there's photos on Facebook of people just being bogged and taking a day to get dug out with excavators and stuff like that around Chamora, and that's pretty wet over here. But I've got my crop in, so I'm happy enough.
He's a happy man, and he's going to be happy when he goes down to How Long and have a look at the very, very good the Spiders and see how they go against the highly vaunted Saints. Phil Bouffler will catch you next week.
Good on you, Wayne.